Hello, everyone. Thank you all so much for coming here today and listening our session. Today, 2.3 billion people globally in the whole world, nearly 1/3 of the whole population, are still cooking their meals over open fires, which means they are breathing in harmful smoke released from burning charcoal, firewood, animal dung, and agricultural wastes. This cooking practice still can be found in 128 countries today, where people don't have access or tools to clean cooking or using sustainable cooking methods, which means it creates more impact in the whole world. What is clean cooking? Clean cooking is a cooking method which is affordable, sustainable, above all, safe for us, for health, and for the environment. These technologies can be found in, which helps to reduce the rate of air pollutants, while also being more efficient than the traditional cooking methods. But why we're focusing on clean cooking? Any ideas in the room? Why it's important? What is the impact in the world? Premature death rate, which is caused by indoor air pollution due to lack access of clean cooking. While we're seeing the world has seen a significant decrease over the past decades, this number is distressingly high currently in Africa. In 2019 alone, 700,000 people have lost their lives due to being unable to get access to clean cooking, and which caused to premature death rate. There's also a challenge in energy equity. As you see on the slide, we have a global trend that shows us the benchmark. While we're also seeing there is some progress has been made over the decades, we are still far behind United Nations Sustainable Development Goal target, which we are aiming to reach by 2030. Specifically, regions falling behind, like Africa, sub-Saharan Africa. As we see on the slide, there's been some progress, but we clearly see that this progress is slow in compared to the world's trend. While clean cooking has impact on health and on people's lives, it's not only about health. Also, gathering cooking fuels can require time and effort to do so. In regions like sub-Saharan Africa, where women and girls are solely responsible for household duties, this puts them under a lot of pressure, which means this impacts women and girls. It prevents them from getting the education, it prevents them to spend their time earning livelihood and spending their time for social activities. In the study conducted by Wharton University and the International Energy Agency, they found that on average, household that cooks their meal by using solid fuel, on average, women are spending up to 18 hours per week just gathering this fuel. And of course, it comes with its own economic burdens, meaning $1.4 trillion per year on average, lost for health burden, lost for economic productivity, on top of the environmental cost. While we are trying to focus on clean cooking in the world and in Africa specifically, We are doing it for health reasons, and also we're trying to address the gender disparities, gender disparities that can be found in many countries today. It is quite impressive to see some companies are stepping forward with their solutions to address these challenges, specifically around clean cooking. And we at AWS are proud to partner with one of these companies, like Circle Gas, who has been making remarkable strides in addressing these challenges in sub-Saharan Africa region. Morten, over to you.
Thank you. Can you hear me? All right. Thank you, Jamila. So just to sum up, this is an IoT conference. So I will get into the IoT of the things. But just to sum up, it's 2.3 billion people that do not have access to clean cooking. They cook inside their homes with charcoal and firewood and kerosene. So they're basically firing up a barbecue inside their houses, and they die from it. Every single day in sub-Saharan Africa, it's 1,700 people dying on a daily basis. We focus on Kenya and Tanzania. You already read the number. It's 130 people dying every single day from this. And you can see it in their eyes. The white in their eyes, it's yellow. So we are providing them with a clean cooking solution. And what is a clean cooking solution? Well, it's getting you away from charcoal and firewood and kerosene and getting you onto LPG, liquefied petroleum gas, which by the International Energy Agency and the World Bank is considered to be the only viable clean cooking solution in the next 10 years for sub-Saharan Africa. So that's what we are providing them with. So a lot of households, they cannot afford the down payment for a cylinder of gas, so they can't afford it. That's it. They just can't afford it. And you might not have heard about Kidogo, but Kidogo is the micro payment trend that is in sub-Saharan Africa, and I guess spreading all over the world by now, is that you don't buy a full bottle of shampoo, you buy one portion of a shampoo. And we have introduced this to clean cooking as well. So we use a micro payment solution. And who are we? So I will tell you now who we are and then how the solution actually works. And prepare your questions for later, because I'm open to any questions. So we are headquartered out of the UK. We have a tech hub in Denmark, and we assemble our smart meters in Italy. Right now we have customers in Kenya and Tanzania. That's where our markets are. And it's not a proof of concept. It's not a theoretical thing. Right now, every single day, we visit almost 7,000 homes to change their cylinders. We have 360,000 households running on our solution. And actually, since this was made, we crossed the 365,000. So we're growing a lot. The way we grow is that we open a depot the size of a petrol station near you, and then we go out into the streets with our blue polos that says M-Gas. That's the name of the product. And people come running to us because they heard of us. So every day we impact roughly 1.5 million people. With our solutions, of course, we sell a lot of liquid petroleum gas, of course, and we save a lot of carbon emissions. So we're having a great impact on people's lives and on the planet. On the right-hand side, you can see our old smart meter. We call it the P4. There was generation 4. Now we are introducing Gen X, which is number 10. You see, I don't know how well you can see it, but in the bottom right, you can see a kerosene pump. That's how some people get their kerosene to put in a pot and light a fire inside the house. They should just stop doing that, basically. So I told you about the depots. So we open up depots. Right now we have 37 depots in Kenya, and we have 2 in Tanzania. So basically we come and we ask you a question. If you're a single bachelor that cooks a meal once a week because you eat hot dogs and pizzas or whatever the rest of the week, you're not eligible for our solution. we want to service most possible people, and we have limited number of smart meters. They cost money. So we wanted to go into the houses of big families, even small commercial, food trucks, etc., can use our solution. So we asked them some vetting questions. These data go into our AWS stack, so we have them later on for machine learning to see, okay, are these the right vetting questions, etc. So we learn. If they pass the test, and mostly do, we simply give them a 13 kg cylinder for free with the smart meter on top. You can see this is the new version, the PX. And they can't get the meter off themselves, because otherwise we would run out of gas pretty soon, right? We give them that cylinder, a smart meter on top, a rubber hose to a 2-burner stove, and they top up 250 Kenyan shilling the first time. They long press the single button that's on the smart meter. It connects up to AWS IoT core and sees that there is a top-up amount, because they have topped up with M-Pesa in Kenya. And in Tanzania it's also called M-Pesa. You can also use Airtel money. Mobile payments is a huge thing in any country because of the Kidogo economy, right? So micropayments, peer-to-peer payments, etc. So they top up, single press the single button that's on the meter. It connects, sees that there's a top-up command for it, gets the payment onto the meter, and the meter functions as a wallet. Inside the meter is a thermal mass sensor that has been calibrated to the specific mixture of propane and butane in Kenya, which is different from Tanzania. It measures the flow of gas, and you simply pay as you go. That's it, in all simplicity. Very simple, right? It should be extremely simple for me as a CTO to run. And it is and it isn't, right? Because while it is simple, it's also very complex. So what are we doing? Well, we're tracking all of our assets with QR codes. So we scan the QR codes with the phones that our employees get. So every time they scan the meter to change the cylinder or to service the meter, we save the location of that smartphone. And if you think about that for a second, then what we're actually building is an address system for sub-Saharan Africa, which is really not there at the moment. It's more like by the red door on the 3rd floor, etc. And it changes a lot. So we're building an address system of Africa. We also need to document everything we charge the customers for. So we are actually mapping the cooking behavior of the African people. They top up on average 3 times every day. That's the kind of money they have. They top up with around 30 cents, US cents every time. So it's very small amounts. But we're mapping them. So that is one of the things that goes into our collaborations with AWS, is all that beautiful data that we're actually collecting. And I think that's over to you.
Thank you, Morten. And I will build up on your story actually around the IoT challenges that you've been experiencing, and we were working together to address them while we were trying to also support the greater cause. So one of the challenges was the connectivity and battery management. As you can imagine, as Morten also said, the meter is battery powered and can have a variable connectivity issues where every message counts, every data point counts. And what happened is we were able to use AWS IoT services to help to build a robust IoT infrastructure which is tolerant. On top of it, they also had the supply chain and provisioning challenge, because the meters, as Morten mentioned, is been produced way further from the end user. It's in Italy, like 6,000 kilometers from their end customer. And you can also imagine that it needs to be securely provisioned in the field. So with AWS IoT, we were able to get the securely provisioning in place using IoT jobs for provisioning tasks. And the last but not least, Circle Gas's vision is big, is to scale globally, is to bring clean cooking to everyone, is to bridge the gender gap, and to help everyone being able to get benefited from clean cooking. And the scaling. So scaling part here is that while you, Morten, and the Circle Gas have this vision, can they actually do it with the infrastructure they built? Can they do it with the meters they have? And the answer is, cloud-based IoT managed platform is able to provide that ability where they will be able to deploy their solutions globally, scale, and not just scaling for an unknown amount of numbers, but exceeding for the current 10K per week meter rollout. And this is the architectural diagram that we work together with Circle Gas on building and making this magic happen. So this is the meter that Morten introduced. This meter connects to the AWS cloud with data ingestion. They're using AWS IoT services such as IoT Core, IoT rules, device jobs. And then this data is being streamed for various locations. For example, if it's raw data, it needs to be transformed. They create the data lake using Amazon storage service, simple service storage, which is Amazon S3. They keep their data raw or transformed in a transformed format. They're also able to archive that data to use for AI/ML to predict the demand better. For operational data, for example, they're using Amazon's managed databases such as DynamoDB and RDS. For data governance, again, they're using AWS services where they are able to create tables, to transform the data quickly, easily, and get the dashboard in no time using Amazon QuickSight, which is our cloud-based AI and ML-powered dashboarding tool. Well, with that, let's talk about the partnership, Morten.
Yeah, okay. So with this, what we actually have created is we transformed individual gas bottles into a utility, because we can predict the next time you're going to run out of gas. With your current cooking habits, we know that you will be running out of gas in 5 days. So we make an appointment with our customer, say we come and change your cylinder before 3 days, 5 days, whatever. So what we have done is, with this partnership, is actually not only making it scalable, we've also made and feasible for our customers, we also made it into a utility. So actually progressing that. So one of the things I talked earlier with some other guys out here saying, what have Amazon actually done for us? So they actually changed some of their services to tweak them a little. So to me, a partnership is about, yes, they can follow up with scale, they have the capacity, they have the talent, clearly, to support us, and they have the services and other clients as well. But they're also willing to adjust their services to cater to our needs. And that's what they have been doing to us. So we really appreciate this partnership, Jamila.
Thank you, Morten. We appreciate it as well. I think it's your...
And our customers, they also appreciate it. And I think, for me, I've been in telco, I've been in media, I've been in retail, and now I've been skill stacking without knowing it. So now I use all of them, all of these capabilities. But this is what our customers are saying, and this is the first time I've been doing work where it actually has so much purpose. Especially the last one hits me a bit. I use MGAS as I want to cook safely for my children, and I have no money or man to take them to the hospital. So that's one of the benefits with the partnership from AWS combined with our product, our service, is that we are actually changing lives here. We're doing have an actual impact. And the impact, if we go into the UN sustainability goals, not only are we saving carbon We're also reducing deforestation, we're reducing air pollution, and you've probably read all of this, so I won't read it to you, but normally I just say we have purpose coming out of our ears. So it's not that hard to find good people working for us. So this was an example of the power of technology and innovation going hand to hand with doing actual meaningful work that has a great impact. And you talked about our ambitions for the future. So our ambition is now we have a little over 360,000 customers. By end of this year, we want 550. That's what we are budgeting with. That's what we're aiming for. We really started growing after the pandemic, for real. So these 360,000 customers, they didn't come over many years. They came recently. The potential is, in Kenya alone, there's 43 million people that don't have access to clean cooking. So we don't know where this ends. To me, our engineers, they are looking to support 10 million customers. And if you talk those kind of numbers, then you really have to think about your AWS invoice, right? So you have to build the right infrastructure to support that, and your last mile logistics. So with that,
as we close our presentation today, I'd like to leave you with a call to action. We've taken on the challenge to address gender gap, clean cooking, and sustainable future for us all, together with Circle Gas. Let's build together with AWS IoT so we can have gender equality is reality, where sustainable future for us all is within reach, where clean cooking is accessible to everyone. Thank you.